Hey, what's up, Leadsmith family? If you find the information in this video helpful, please help us out and hit the like button. If you like seeing these types of deal finding videos, smash subscribe and you'll start getting these on a regular basis. If there's anything specific that you want, drop it in the comments and we'll try to get to it. I hope you enjoy the video. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can pull a foreclosure list in Pinellas County, Florida. The first thing we're going to do is go to this URL up at the top. I'll drop a link down in the description so that you have it. If you do not have a login for this site, I recommend that you get one. It's free. Just click here on register, go through the prompts, and you can get yourself a login. The good news is that once you get a login for this site, it works on all the different sites that are built on this same platform for a lot of different counties. I'm going to go ahead and log in here. We need to OK out of a few of these screens sometimes. Once we do that, we're going to go here on the left-hand side and click on Quick Search. From here, we'll give it a few seconds to update. When it updates, you can see we have auction type here. We're going to hit this drop-down menu, and we can see that we have either foreclosure or tax deed. We want to look up at the URL and see which site we're on. We're on the foreclosure site. That means we're just simply going to select foreclosure from that drop-down. It defaults to search for the next 90 days, which is great. And we're going to click search report up here at the top. It went ahead and ran that search. You can see that there's 79 properties that are scheduled for auction in the next 90 days in Pinellas County. If we click on this notepad icon up here at the top, it allows us to download the list in CSV format, and now we can open it with Excel. I'm going to go ahead and open it, and we'll take a look at it together. And I'm just going to run left to right real quick and show you some of the more important columns here. Sell date, this is the date that the property is actually going to go to auction. If this date is within a couple weeks and we have not had any kind of contact with the person, I recommend just skipping those and only go after the ones that you have at least 2 or 3 weeks to try to get in contact with them. Outside of that, it's probably not going to be enough time. You have the date that they were added to the site, the status of that particular auction, the final judgment amount, the amount they owe the bank, the assessed value from the county, who's putting the lawsuit in. And here's the really important part is the property addresses of the properties that are going to auction. So here they are, and that's really what we need. What I want to do real quick is clean this list up a little bit and walk you through that process. I'm going to highlight the entire sheet. We'll go to data and then filter. Today is 6/29. These auctions are occurring today. I'm going to go ahead and delete anything that happens in the next couple weeks just because we don't have enough time to get in contact with them. And then under status, accepting proxy are the ones that are still active. I want to get rid of all the canceled ones. So if they've already canceled the auction, we'll just delete them. Some of these may get added back on in the future, which is great. But until then, we'll just leave them off our list. We'll clear that filter. And then you can see over here that we have property addresses on most of these. It is missing on a couple of them. A lot of these properties do not have equity, and depending on what exit strategy we're going to use, a lot of them need to have equity. So I want to show you how you can quickly separate the ones that do have equity from the ones that don't have equity so that we can just target the ones that do have equity. To do that, we're going to go over here and simply add in a new column. And we're going to say equals the assessed value minus, and then click on the final judgment column and press enter. And you can see here that we have a calculation. We're just going to drag this calculation all the way to the bottom using the little square at the bottom. And here you can see that we have a lot of different calculations, and a lot of them are negative. All these ones that are negative in this list, they're going to have negative equity. What we want to do here is, let's say, show us everything that is less than 1. So we'll go ahead and press enter there. And we're just going to delete all of these. And you can kind of play around with these numbers because they might, you might want to do yours slightly different, but the same general concept applies. What we have here left are properties that are going to auction in the next 90 days. And they, from everything we can tell on here, they're still active, and they also have enough equity for us to work with. There's a couple of them in here that are pretty close. So, like for example, this one says it's only got about $9,000 worth of equity. One thing to keep in mind on these is a lot of times on the foreclosure auctions, there's a lot of attorney's fees and things like that that aren't necessarily calculated into all these numbers. So what I typically do is add another like 15 or 20 grand just on the top that it's going to cost in fees and things like that. So as long as the numbers still work after that, then I would go ahead and pursue it. This particular one, in my opinion, is too tight. I mean, you can dive into it and look at different exit strategies and stuff like that. But just looking at it, zoomed out really quick to get an answer, I would delete this one. But the rest of these are good to go. They're ready to market too. Here's all their different property addresses. So we just need to look up, find out who the owners are, get in contact with them, and see if they have any interest in selling prior to the auction. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you on the next one.